Kansas football's preseason training camp is officially at its halfway point. A little over 2 weeks in, and the Jayhawks have held 12 of their allotted 25 preseason practices as the September 2nd season opener against Tennessee Tech nears closer. Over the last week, we've had the chance to talk to Lance Leipold on multiple occasions, in addition to multiple position coaches, too. So let's dive into a few of our takeaways from the last week. And it's hard not to start with Jason Bean, who has played at a really high level according to coaches. And this even goes back to the start of KU's preseason camp. Bean started on the right foot over the first 2 days and arguably outperformed Jalen Daniels, but Bean missed a few practices there early in camp. But since he's returned, he's received praise from not only Lance Leipold, but quarterbacks coach Jim Zebrowski. According to Leipold, Bean has put together his best practices as a Jayhawk in the month of August, which bodes well for KU's quarterback depth heading into the season. Now, Jalen Daniels is still expected to be the starter when KU's season opener takes place and over the first weeks of the season, but it's been a long time since KU has had a quarterback play all 12 games. So, if Daniels is unable to go in any one of the contests or gets banged up at any point over the course of the season, it's hard not to feel good about KU's quarterback depth with Bean. Of course, Bean earned the starting job last year, started 9 games before he was supplanted by Jalen Daniels in the quarterback depth chart. But with Bean playing well, you have to feel good about the quarterback's room in general. Now, transfers were a hot topic for KU this offseason as well. The Jayhawks brought in the number 21 ranked transfer portal class in addition to multiple junior college players too. And 12 transfers arrived on campus at the start of fall camp, and KU has made those players come in and earn it. This is not a scenario where the defensive transfers or offensive transfers have walked in and started running with the first team right off the bat. They've had to come in and earn it. And this is a part of the culture of competition that the coaching staff has really tried to instill over the last year, where players who start are the ones who earn the starting spots. This isn't a scenario where players are handed starting roles. They have to earn it, and that starts in the spring and carries through fall camp. And so you look at some of those incoming transfers. Let's use Marvin Grant for an example, the Purdue safety transfer. Is he still expected to start at safety? Yes, but he didn't start camp working with the ones at safety alongside Kenny Logan. He started working with the second team and has since adapted to the scheme. And as the season comes closer, it's fair to expect he will earn the starting spot next to Kenny Logan. Overall, the way KU runs its practices is a little bit different, where there's a lot of mixing and matching, where especially in the defensive backfield, KU has gone out of its way to put the ones with the twos with the threes with the ones, so that all the players, if injuries happen, if players get banged up, if players come on later in the season, that all the players have some level of familiarity with each other. And that could pay off in terms of developing depth as well. Someone like O.J. Burrows had a really strong freshman season and started camp working alongside Kenny Logan. So he'll have experience working with Kenny Logan, but will also have experience working with some of those new transfers, whether it be the second team or third team. So overall, you're looking at this helping KU develop depth all over the field, which has been an issue in recent years, where you look at the starting 11 on both sides of the ball and feel you had a couple good players, but the second 11 wouldn't be as good. And this is a move to help try and improve depth and improve competition. And speaking of improved depth, it's hard not to go to the offensive line, where depth is a big concern heading into this season. KU likes its starting 5, with returning 4 starters, headlined by Mike Nowitzki, Michael Ford, Earl Bostic, and Armaje Reed-Adams is expected to step in and play at guard. But KU spent some time and cross-trained these offensive linemen in camp. This time last year, offensive line coach Scott Fuchs would have had to spend time teaching the outside zone scheme to his players. But with the full spring and a full fall camp, he's able to spend more time getting players moved around. For example, someone like Dominic Puny has played at right tackle. He's played at guard. Same thing with Michael Ford, who's expected to start at guard, but has also gotten some reps at tackle, snapping, so that when the season comes and if an injury does happen, they will be able to move pieces around or plug and play a certain player. So you're looking at the depth of the offensive line. Is it still a concern? I would say yes, but you might feel more comfortable playing one or two players now that they've had the chance to move around and play with different combinations of players as well. And finally, you got to go to special teams. We had the chance to talk to special teams coach Taiwo Unatolu on Monday, and he had a really interesting comment saying that Kenny Logan will still return kicks this season, but don't expect Logan to be on a ton of special teams. KU wants its defensive starters to play on at least one special teams unit. For Logan, that will be kick returning. Of course, 2 seasons ago, Logan was an honorable mention All Big 12 kick returner, and he's been a consistent top half of the Big 12 kick returner during his time at KU. Other players to watch for that kick returning spot include Devin Neal, Luke Grimm, Kai Thomas, players like that, and even Trevor Wilson, the wide receiver who has plenty of speed to burn. Those are the players that were mentioned as guys that can go back and kick return. And as for punt return, expect Luke Grimm to be the guy back there. Overall, KU is continuing to develop its depth and really hammering out the two deep as the start of the season nears. And as always, stay tuned to Fog.net for all sorts of KU football coverage. And there'll be plenty of coverage from KU's Media Day on Wednesday all over the website.